Leah Wilson-Felis here. I realized that one of my videos got cut short because I'm not the best with technology. So I am going to do the Spinal Rejuvination sequence on the YogaWall, as well as legs up the wall and many variations. So for the Spinal Rejuvination sequence, we need to have the belt at our mid-thigh level. So with our Spinal Rejuvination, we are inverted, we are upside down. So we want to bring our belt up to about mid-thigh level. And we're going to come behind the belt, bringing our back towards the wall. And you want your thighs right on the belt there. So find the right spot for you. So keep in mind, if your hips are a little sore here or your belt is rather new, you might use a blanket and bring it over top the belt so that way it's not as sore. And so you'll want to start to walk forward into your belt. We'll fold forward, bringing the fingertips down. Now here I'm feeling a lot in my calves because my feet are flat. So that's okay, you can do that. If you'd like to feel less or more in your hamstrings, then walk your heels up the wall and have your toes on the floor. The goal of spinal rejuvenation is to have our spine completely relaxed. So try to let go with your arms, let go with your knees, and simply drape over the belt. Let your head go. Imagine that each vertebra is separating. There's literal space being created between each vertebra here. Now let's add a rotation. So bring your right hand into the floor and bend your right knee. Keep your left leg straight and push your left heel into the wall slightly as you reach your left hand up towards the ceiling. You might even press into that right hand a little bit to activate the arm, open the chest a little bit more. Take a large inhale at the top. And as you exhale, switch sides. So now it's your left hand into the floor, your left knee bends, right leg is straight. Sweep your right hand up towards the sky. And if you'd like to get a little bit more rotation, press into that left hand, extending and spiraling the chest straight out. Big inhale at the top. And as you exhale, we'll fold back forward. Press your hips into your belt, your heels onto the wall, and roll up into somewhat of a plank position. You could have your hands straight out like they're in plank. You could have them in kind of like a chaturanga type position, or hands at the heart. Big inhale here at the top. Whenever your head is feeling clear, you can fold back forward, bringing your hands to the floor and placing your feet on the wall at about plate 1 on my wall or plate 2 for a typical yoga wall structure. So lengthen your legs, let the belt slide onto your thighs, and let your head just hang. This is a yoga wall uttanasana. Visualize yourself like a puppet. BKS Iyengar created this method, and he called it the Iyengar rope method, or rope wall. And he also called it the yoga karunta, which means yoga puppetry. So imagine yourself like a puppet here, just dangling from strings. We have these little tails hanging behind us, or we should if we're using the YogaWall belt. And so grab on to the left strap. So it's by your left leg. So use your left hand and reach back for your left strap. And then use your right hand and sweep it under your body, so under by your belt, towards that left strap. So use your left hand to guide it into your right hand. So now, listen carefully, it's right hand to left strap. The left hand comes back down towards the floor. Bend your right knee just a little bit and open your chest towards the left. Look underneath your left underarm. And let's breathe here. Big inhale. As you exhale, release with the right hand. But then use that right hand and reach back for the right tail that's by your right leg, just kind of hanging down there. Left hand is going to sweep underneath the body. So, left hand comes to the right strap. Right hand comes down to the floor. Bend your left knee. I try to reach my left elbow towards my left knee sometimes, and then I'm going to just try to look out underneath the right underarm, spiraling the chest. Breathing here, and releasing with an exhale. Let's drain our brain by pushing onto the wall, hips in the belt, reaching out away from the wall like you're flying. Let your head kind of drain out. A couple breaths. And we'll fold back forward for our last rotations for the spinal rejuvenation. Remember, there's many ways to make this your own and make it creative. So I'm going to have you bend your right knee, right hand to the floor. Left leg is straight and left hand sweeps up to the sky. You can make it very yang, so very active, by pushing into your feet and into the belt, lifting up, and then folding back down. Try the other side. Bend your left knee, straighten your right leg. Left hand to the floor, right hand to the sky. Make it active by pushing your feet into the wall and lifting up, folding back forward. One more time, flying. Press into the wall. Roll out, reaching away from the wall. Inhale there. Exhale, forward fold. We're coming into a wall child's pose. So your knees come onto the wall. Let them slide down. Let your hips drape over the belt and the hands come down the forearms to the floor. Let your head just dangle here. Let your shoulders just hang out. You can always reach your hands up these straps on the side for a little shoulder depression. Brings your shoulders away from your ears. This is how I will take the back bend on this side, or with this video, I should say. So I'm going to have you reach up for the straps that are hanging down on either side of your belt. Grab on tight. Bend your elbows and round your back. That's called rabbit pose or sasangasana. Then we will extend. Reach your arms out as far as they can. Push your knees into the wall and your hips into the belt. Let those arms rotate ahead of the body and then bend the elbows. We're now in a back bend because our belly and chest are reaching forward as our head and our arms and our hips are being held up. And then we'll slide down those straps, bring the hands down, maybe do some cow and some cat. And we'll begin to take ourselves back down to the original downward facing dog. Toes on the floor, heels on the wall. Let yourself just kind of hang out here. And then press into your heels, press into your toes, press your hips into the belt, rolling up. You can bring your hands together. You can reach up for the sky if you want to. You can reach your hands back if you want to. And we'll begin to walk forward. Turning around, especially if you're feeling dizzy at all, maybe grounding yourself. And we're going to be taking our back bend at a lowered version. So whenever you're feeling clear, adjust your belt down to the floor. So lift the silver buckles on either side. Be mindful of your equipment. Treat it with respect. And we'll step behind the belt now so that the belt is closer to the wall. I like to test it by putting my foot in the belt and making sure it hovers off of the ground. Alright, so we want to bring a blanket into play here so that we can slide on the floor a little bit. How I get into legs up the wall, here's one of the ways. I find a seat on my blanket near the wall so that I can rotate and lay onto my blanket with my feet on the wall over the belt. I have to use my toe to feed that belt into my hands. And then we're going to go into a bridge, an inverted bridge. So push your feet into the wall, hoist your hips, and pull that belt underneath your hips and let the belt carry you in. You might have to adjust it to find that comfortable spot on the sacrum, which is right over the hips. We'll start to rock our hips from side to side, kind of like you're washing the wall, wax on, wax off, wax on, wax off. Just to start to get used to this spinal traction happening here in the lower back. Here will be our back bend, which counteracts all of that forward folding over the belt. Bend your knees to your chest, but keep your hips in the belt. Keep your shoulders and your head on the floor. Start to push into the floor so that you can slide back and then begin to walk your feet down the wall so that your knees are on the wall and your toes are right in front of the wall. Let your hips be suspended by this belt. It's an assist. So just like we have our yoga blocks, you can do this at home without a belt. If you have a yoga block, you can do this pose also. You would push yourself up into that bridge, bring a block underneath your pelvis, underneath your sacrum, and rest. Let your hips rest. Let your glutes be heavy. Let your legs be soft. You don't have to do anything here. You can just allow the equipment to do the work for you. Remember, the more that we allow the equipment to just do its thing and allow gravity to be of service, the more that we will benefit from the work. You can always take this to a bigger position by pushing into your toes and rolling onto the top of your head for more like a fish posture, more of a wheel posture. But whenever you have had enough, whenever you are ready, just walk your feet up the wall and start to slide back in. There's lots of variations here, so you can stay right here with legs up the wall. If you choose to do things with your legs, then you'll need to grab onto the straps and let your feet slide out underneath the straps. You could turn your knees and toes out, bending your knees, bringing your feet together behind the strap. To help yourself a little, deepen that. If you want to deepen this stretch right here, help yourself with that with an assist. You'll take your lower leg and wrap them around to the outside and in front of the strap. So just your lower leg comes in front of the strap, and that's going to use the lower leg pressure to push on those inner thighs. And again, you can always rock the hips a little bit here, pedal the knees, swipe the hips from side to side if you want. You could always lengthen the legs out to the sides and get a nice inner thigh stretch. Make sure to take some time with whichever posture feels best to you. And we'll return back to legs up the wall whenever that time comes. Feel free to press pause and take some time in whichever posture, whichever inversion you like, or be creative and find some new postures. To come out of the pose, bend your knees, feet on the wall. We'll hoist the hips up, lifting the hips, and start to slide back, pushing your feet onto the wall, lengthening out away. And you'll feel this beautiful flush of blood go down the back of your hips and lower back. So just take a moment to really notice that. That's fresh blood flow. That's length in your spine. And from here, roll to a side, whichever side serves you, whichever side is calling to you, supporting your head by coiling your arm around your ear, whichever side is closest to the ground. And we'll start to help ourselves up to seated. And you can certainly use the yoga wall behind you as a little support. And we'll take some time here to just kind of feel how our spine has been rejuvenated, how it's been lengthened, stretched, strengthened. I hope that you feel a little taller when you get up, as each of these vertebrae in our spine, all 26 of them, have been lengthened, have new synovial fluid brought in. Thank you for taking these 15 minutes and doing a spinal rejuvenation sequence with me. I bow to you. I bow to the beam of light and love and truth that exists inside of each of you. It also exists inside of me. And it is the same beam that pervades this entire universe. Thank you so much again for joining me. Namaste.